Hey y'all, how y'all doing? I wanted to talk about the differences between crunchy and being a hippie because I think people think that those are interchangeable. I think people think that those are kind of the same universe. They're really not. There is a distinct line, although some people might be kind of a crossover mix of both. But they're different things. They're very distinct, different things. So if you guys don't know, okay, what crunchy is, let me just break this down for you. If you guys don't follow the Crunchy Mom on YouTube, her videos are kind of very tongue-in-cheek about the crunchy lifestyle. They're quite funny. But the YouTube channel is called Really Very Crunchy, and she just, I'm sure if you just typed in Crunchy Mom, you'd find her too, but she just makes skits about being crunchy, and about what it's kind of like, I guess, poking fun at the crunchiness, because it can be toxic. The crunchy universe can be toxic, as I'm sure a lot of niche groups are. Anyway, the differences though between being crunchy and being a hippie are quite different. Now, hippies, as we all know, they kind of are the originators of tie-dye. That's kind of when we think in our heads, we think tie-dye, right? And we think smoking weed, right? A little 420. And the thing is like hippies and crunchy people, they don't even really go to the same places. Maybe a little overlap. They kind of even are interested in different things. Hippies, you see the hippie shops, right? And they sell the weed boxes, maybe like very shroom, psychedelic decor. A hippie is going to be all about reuse, recycle. To their core, they believe that that's important. Save the planet in that way. They're going to go to the thrift store, right? And they are going to take something that's old, tattered, worn. Doesn't matter the material, as long as it's like this could be repurposed, and they will repurpose it. They are going to take their old, ripped up, tattered jeans, and they're going to hem them up, and they're going to stitch them up, and they're going to turn it into something else, or patch them up, and they're going to reuse them until they fall apart. They're going to continue using those same Converse that they wore in high school until they can't be worn anymore, until the sole is coming off, because it's the intentions of reusing, repurpose. I could still get use out of these, it's that. It's that. They're also, when they're making the tie-dye, they might tie-dye anything. They might tie-dye a cotton shirt. Who knows what kind of fabric they will tie-dye. If it can be tie-dyed or DIY'd, they will. It doesn't necessarily matter the material. And the dyes that they're using, I mean, you never know. Who knows what's in dye? Who knows what's in the dye? But it's the fun of it. It's the repurposing of it. It's maybe the elements of using natural materials, but also maybe not. It's a lot of that. It's you're not going to see a hippie. What you're not going to see, and this is a big, huge difference between being a hippie and being a crunchy, is you're not going to see a hippie spending $200 on a fine quality pair of shoes. Now again, you might be a person who is a little bit of a hippie, a little bit of a crunchy. And so you might be a crunchy, because a crunchy person, it would spend and does spend and finds importance in spending top dollar for the highest quality of something. A crunchy person might go to the thrift store. On the flip side of crunchy, now that talked about the hippie, now we're on to the crunchy. The crunchies will go to the thrift store And they're going to be passing by a lot of things. They're going to be like, that's polyester. That's a toxic. That's kind of made with some plastic. I don't want any of that. I want, and then like, what's the dyes in this? What are they like? But they will snag up the linen. They're going to snag up the wool. They already know they are not supposed to mix the two because of what it does to your body. They are on that side of things. They are always looking at the tags. You know, what's in this? What's in the clothing that I'm wearing? And it's that internal knowing and believing in that side of self-worth. And at the very least, if they aren't buying or spending $200 on the finest quality leather shoe, or vegan leather shoe, or moccasin, or something or other, wool shoe, who knows? If it isn't that, it's at least got to be a wide toe box. It's at least got to be a barefoot shoe. Maybe a grounding shoe at least. It's that, okay? They are crunchy people to their core, are that the highest of quality. What is the best? Let me research what is the best for my body. And also at the same time, you know, hippies might be for eco-bricking. When you start getting into natural building materials, you start to see things about eco-bricking. Eco-bricking is when you save every little bit of plastic that you use in your daily life and you shove it down into a plastic bottle, likely some sort of juice container, milk jug, whatever it is that you use that could fit all of this. And you can use that to build with. Over time, you can get enough eco bricks just by living and existing and using up plastics and build something with it. And see, a hippie might think that that's a really cool idea, and they might really enjoy that because it's, you know, reusing, repurposing. It's doing something with the trash, right? It's that. And you're doing something creative. It gives you that opportunity to be creative. Whereas a crunchy person is going to look at that and go, maybe I don't want to build something. Maybe I don't want to build a house or a structure to live in made out of plastic because that's toxic and it's leaching, and what am I breathing in? There's two sides here. Okay, they're split. So places that hippies go are very different than the places that crunchy people go. They don't often mingle. See, this was what's triggered this the other day, is because I saw a video of somebody, or not a video, it was a group. I'm in a crunchy mom group, and so many of the people in the group are not actually crunchy. They're like silky. They're kind of scrunchy. They're a little dipping their toes in crunchiness. They're not full crunchies. Can you tell which one I am? Okay, I'm a mix of both. Mostly because I have to be, because if I was any wealthier, I would be 100% crunchy, as you can tell by my Berkey water filter back there. Had somebody come over one time and they said, like, nice coffee, or nice coffee maker, and I was like, tell me you're not a crunchy without telling me you're not a crunchy. I'm like, it's my water filter, whatever. I'm just just joking around, just joking. But anyway, what triggered that was, like, I saw somebody in the groups being like, I want to encapsulate that smell when you walk into a health food store, a co-op. That smell, we all know the smell, right? People in the comments were listing Nag, Champa, and Patchouli, and I'm like, no, get out of here with that suggestion. That is the opposite vibe. Let me break it down for you, okay? Hippie stores, okay, are very different than crunchy stores. Hippie stores, let me paint you a picture. And again, these are all generalizations. There might be subtle crossover of both. There might be some stores that aren't exactly like this, right? But in general, what you're going to find at a hippie store is either handmade, creative, eclectic looking bags. Okay, it's going to be made out of different cotton, scrap fabrics. Sometimes you will find different hippie stores are kind of in the same vein where it's just mass-produced bags, but kind of a similar style. There's going to be a lot of weed boxes. There's going to be a lot of shroom decor. There's going to be a lot of psychedelic decor. Likely some grungy or like psychedelic sounding music. Maybe some Bob Marley, maybe. Going on in the background. Maybe a little bit of sound healing sounds. Maybe. You might find some of that. You are going to find something chakra related in there. You just will. It's the nature of it, really. A lot of peace signs. A lot of like the weed, leaf, pot leaf, you know. Maybe some blown glass things in there. It's gonna be kind of a hodgepodge mix of funky different things. You also might find a Zoltar in the corner. Why? I don't know. Some astrology things perhaps in there. I don't know. Maybe a tapestry that says your sign on it. Different things like that. Okay, and it's going to be kind of a hodgepodge. It's going to be kind of whatever. And it's also going to smell. See, the smell is different. The smell in there is Nag Champa and a vague patchouli in the background. Always Nag Champa. There's also going to be Nag Champa things related in there, like Nag Champa soap, okay, Nag Champa incense. Incense is going to be huge here. Incense might be even in the air. You know, you might be inhaling that as you're walking through this store. You're probably going to see maybe somebody with dreadlocks, maybe not. Dreadlocks aren't as popular as they used to be. Okay, but that is the vibe in there. Whereas, let's jump over to a crunchy place. A crunchy place is going to be a co-op, a health food store, a local health food store. I've never been in a Whole Foods. Maybe Whole Foods smells like this. I really don't know. Either way, this is what it is. That is going to smell very different. You're not going to find any patchouli in there, and you're definitely not going to find any Nag Champa in there. Neither one of those, because those are almost deterrents for a lot of crunchy people. And health food stores, their bread and butter is the crunchies. They're the ones with the money, usually, not all the time, but usually. And they are the ones who are kind of like, I don't know how I feel about weed. A lot of them don't drink. A lot of them are super, extremely health conscious. And so what you're going to be smelling in there is the smell of vegan, first of all. Not that all crunchies are vegan. In fact, a lot of people who are crunchy maybe were vegan at one point, but have a homestead now, are extremely natural. They're the ones who are out there probably like drinking straight cow's milk, unpasteurized, goat's milk, you know, that vibe. They do care about it being organic and local, and it doesn't matter as much about the price. It is the quality of the food. But what you're going to smell in these stores, okay, is going to be usually just the vague scent of that vegan scent. We all know what it smells like. I think it smells nice. Some people use it as like a derogatory thing or like a mean thing, right? Like it's that vegan smell, you know what I mean? But it's I don't know. It's sort of like an unscented scented smell, you know? It's also going to be natural, handmade, unscented soap. That's the generalized smell that you're going to smell in these places, all right? It's also going to be hemp and real natural linen, because the soaps are often wrapped in those. And a lot of the products there are handmade, eco-friendly. They are extremely sustainably sourced and natural. And so a lot of them are going to be wrapped in a hemp, in a linen. And so it's that wafting in the air. It's a beeswax wafting in the air. It's also, just had it and now it went away. I need to think on that. What was it that I was just going to say? But yeah, it's a lot of that. You're not going to smell too many potent scents in there. It's all, it's vague produce. Okay, vague fresh produce. It's not in your face. It's not garden fresh. It's vague in the background. You know what I mean? It's somebody picked fresh tomatoes and fresh carrots from their garden and set them on the counter over there. It's that. That is what the scent is, okay? It's not all of these essential oils. They sell them there, sure. A lot of crunchy people might use them, in fact, but it's not in your face. That's the thing with these health food sources. It's supposed to be very neutral, very, anybody can walk into this store and not be offended by it. It's good for the spirit. It's good for anybody who might have allergies or sensitivities to smells. It's fresh and clean. It makes you feel like a sense of health is going on. That is that. That is the polarizing difference. You're probably going to see a hippie, okay, in like a ripped, again, this is stereotypical, but a hippie's probably going to be dressed in like a tie-dye shirt, ripped jeans that have like writing all over them that they wrote on with Sharpie or something. You know, different bands that they listen to, maybe a couple peace signs, maybe a couple, like, you know what I mean? It's gonna be very fun, very different patterns going on, different textures going on, different things going on. It's going to look more DIY. It's gonna look a lot more colorful even. Now, a crunchy person is likely going to be head to toe in linen. There's going to probably be a dress and a apron involved, organic cotton. Everything is going to be hand dyed with natural dyes. So it's not kind of muted because of that. It's the natural dyed color. Their shoes are probably going to be an expensive, high quality leather shoe, or a barefoot shoe at minimum, like I said. Yeah, it is that. You know what I mean? It's that. These are different. They're polarizing. So now you know.